Good afternoon, again. Thank you all for coming back again. So, every speaker so far has said I've said too much and stolen their story, and so I'm not going to say much about Sarah, just suffice to say, we met her, Polly, Louise and I met her at the Weybridge 10K. We were so bowled over by her story, we just felt you needed to hear it. So, I'm just going to say what I'm going to say, and hand it over to you.
Thanks, Steve. So yeah, as you said, I met Steve and Louise and Polly and the gang at Weybridge 10K, my first 10K, but hopefully not my last. It's great to be here today. I mean, it was such a good day. I've eaten loads, I have bought some amazing food, I've spent too much money, I've bought bags, it's been great. I've been asked to come and tell you a bit about my story. And my story starts about 3 years ago. So I was your typical kind of workaholic, worked too much, worked too many hours, had what I thought was a pretty healthy diet. So I ate my 5 fruit and veg, I drank lots of water, and you know, I thought I was in quite a good place. And then my husband and I went on holiday to Rome, had a fabulous time, came back, and when we got back I started to get ill, and I had a bit of a cold, and I thought, it's okay, it's just a cold from the plane, I'll get better soon. Another week went by, yeah, I'll get better soon, and I didn't. And another week went by, and I didn't. And I started to get more and more ill. And I became ill with what's called a vestibular disorder. So if you can imagine being on a roller coaster, or when you're a kid and you span your chair around really, really quickly, and once it stops, you feel really dizzy, really sick, and the world's still spinning around you. Imagine feeling like that every day, all day. So you're feeling sick, you're feeling dizzy, and you have tinnitus, so it feels like you're standing next to a fridge or a generator all the time, which doesn't switch off. So I kept on being like this for weeks and months, and I went to the doctors, as you do, because that's what we all do, don't we? We go to the doctors and we say, help me, Mr. Doctor, you can make me better. But they didn't. They said, here are some drugs, here are some pills, have some time off work. And still, I didn't get any better. And my balance was starting to get worse. I couldn't go to work, I couldn't move around my house very much. All I could do was sleep with the pills that they gave me. So they sent me to a consultant, proper ear, nose and throat consultant. And they gave me more drugs, more different pills. They didn't work. And I was getting worse through this time. I was still getting more and more ill, more and more sick, and more unable to function, and more unable to have a life. And that kept going for months and months and months. I was in this state of feeling that I just didn't know what to do. I had nowhere to turn, no one could help me. And eventually I saw 19 different doctors in the end, give or take. And eventually I got to see a consultant, really good consultant, Royal Surrey, and he said, sent me off for a load of tests. I said, oh, you have a thing called Meniere's disease, which is a disorder of your balance, and affects about 1 to 2,000 people. So it's fairly rare, but not not super rare. And he said, it's okay though, because there's a whole range of different treatment options that I can give you. So there's a hierarchy of treatment that I can give you. First of all, what I can do is I can get a great big long needle, and I can inject steroids through your ear into your eardrum. Great, super, lovely. That was fun times. But you have to have it 3 times in a row, and you have to lie on your back without swallowing, without moving, whilst this drug's going into your system. So I did that. That didn't work. Then he said, there's other options that we can give you. So, you know, the next thing that you can do is to have other types of injections into your eardrum. And then after that, if that doesn't work, then I can drill into your skull, and I can take out parts of your eardrum, and you know, the bits that aren't working properly, and I can do that. And if that doesn't work, then I can drill into your skull again, and take out the whole of your balance system and the whole of your eardrum, and take that away, so it won't be there, so you won't feel ill again. Okay, good. Okay, so I've got options. Not very good options, not very attractive options, but you know, my consultant's there, he knows what he's talking about, he's been to university, he's practiced for years and years, he's president of the ENT Society, of the Vestibular Society in the UK, so he's very, very knowledgeable and knows what he's talking about, and I trust him. I absolutely trusted him. So he went through this process of injecting things into my ears, but nothing helped, nothing got better, and my balance system got worse and worse and worse. And I started not to be able to move, and I couldn't walk, and I couldn't stand without holding on to something. I couldn't walk from here to here without having some support. I started off, I bought a stick, walking stick, because I thought, well, that will help me kind of balance to walk around. That kind of didn't help, made me a little bit off balance. So I bought another stick. I thought, two, that'll do it. So I had 2 sticks that went with me everywhere. Not that I was going very far, but there were a couple of times when I managed to walk from my house to the shop down the road from me, which was a 5-10 minute walk. Took a good 40 minutes on my sticks, but yeah, you know, made it. Didn't manage to do anything else for the rest of the day, but that's okay because I was able to walk down the road. And this kind of went on. So as I say, this is a year or so, a year and a half went by. And then I went to my consultant and he said, actually, we've reached the end of the road. So I could do the whole thing of drilling into your skull and scooping bits of your inner ear out, but I'm not prepared to do that because you're so ill and you're in such a bad place that I don't think you're going to recover. I don't think I'm not prepared to do it because it will make you worse and you won't get better from it. So that's it. Bye, thanks very much, see you later. And it's kind of like, but hang on a minute, you're a doctor, you know all this stuff, you can help me, you've done all these, you know, exams and things. I need you to make me better, heal me, Mr. Doctor. But he sent me away. That's it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you later. Don't knock the door on your way out. So I went home and cried a bit and felt sorry for myself for a bit. And then I did what most of us would probably do in the same situation. And I went on the internet. Dr. Google. Hello, Dr. Google. Hello, Dr. YouTube. And I realised that I put all of my faith and trust into the medical profession, into the science, into the people that were supposedly the experts. And I'd lost control of my own health. I'd completely abdicated responsibility for my health and well-being. So I thought, okay, I need to get this back. I need to do something to take control. So I started researching and I started looking at wellness options and different ways of having a healthy lifestyle. And one thing that came up time and time again, as we all know, because people in this room probably know more than I do, but one thing that came up again and again was a plant-based diet. And it didn't just come up once from one source, it came up again from somewhere else, and I'd found something about the China study from somewhere else, and I'd find it 2, 3, 4, 5 times from different areas, different experts. So I thought, okay, well, what have I got to lose? I've got nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, I've tried it. If it doesn't do anything, then it doesn't really matter. It's just been it's been an experiment. Because I've tried everything else. By this point, I'd tried acupuncture, I'd tried reflexology, I'd tried cranial osteopathy, I put cloves of garlic in my ears. I answered the door with a clove of garlic in my ear without even, start it out, that was fine. So what else have I got to lose? So I went online and I bought my Deliciously Elegant book. And literally overnight, I went from having standard, normal, meat-eating, bit of fruit and veg diet, overnight to being full plant-based. And actually I found it really easy. Because I was doing it for my health and well-being, I found it actually really quite straightforward. It was great, but I didn't feel any different to start with. Didn't feel, I was still in my sticks, I was still in a bad place. But then it was my husband actually, Alex, who is the most supportive man in the world, but he was the one that he started to notice that I was getting a bit better. And I thought, not sure, but I'll keep going because, again, what have I got to lose? So I kept going with it. And I started to feel a little bit better. Not much, not particularly, but a bit. And I kind of felt good about the fact that I wasn't eating animals, that I wasn't eating meat. I felt quite kind of that I was doing something positive and that I was taking control. So I kept going with it. And then I'd been going online and going onto YouTube, and I came across a YouTuber called Jess Beautician. You may or may not have seen some of her stuff, and she blogs and vlogs with cruelty-free makeup and beauty stuff and some kind of quite accessible recipes. And I sort of thought, okay, let's find out a bit more about this lifestyle that I'm looking at. And I came across a video where she talked about her journey, her vegan journey, and she had some videos in her comments that she recommended. So 101 Reasons to Go Vegan, Earthlings, Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy. And I watched them back to back over a weekend. And I bawled the whole way through, cried my eyes out the whole way through Earthlings. And halfway through, there was a point halfway through when you've probably all seen, if you've seen it, it's heartbreaking. And there was a point halfway through when I thought, I can't watch any more of this. I actually can't deal with this. And I thought, no, hang on. I have to keep watching this because this is the reality. This is what these animals are going through. So if I can't watch it, if I can't continue to even look at it, what does that say about the fact that this is all going on and I can't even look at it? What does that even say about me? And I felt pleased that I'd stopped eating meat, but so guilty. Someone earlier was talking about the guilt of having spent so many years eating meat, and I really felt that. And then the third thing I did, which again might sound a bit counterintuitive, I suppose, but I went to Surrey County Show. Never been before, won't go again, but I really felt a need to go and see the animals up close and personal. And actually, I was glad I did, because there's something about being next to a cow, being next to a pig or a sheep and feeling that proximity to them. And they only want to live their lives, don't they? They just want to be alive and live out their natural lives and environment. And there was such a disconnect. There was such a disconnect with the people there between these animals and people eating. The tent that held the cows, so beef cattle and dairy cows, walked out of the tent, and literally 2 or 3 steps over here was a burger van. How have we got to that? It's crazy, isn't it? That 2 or 3 steps away, and we're not seeing the difference, we're not seeing the connection and how close that is. So that was the thing that really kind of stopped me in my tracks, because I'd spent time looking at all the hideous things we've done, and then they're just doing their thing, being animals like my cats are, like our dogs and the animals that we have around us are. So that was end of May, so end of May last year. So I wasn't going back by that point. I wasn't going back to eating meat. I wasn't going back to my old lifestyle. Whether I got better or not, that was it. I wasn't changing. But guess what happened? I started to feel a bit better. I started to be able to push myself more. And I didn't do anything different. I wasn't doing anything different in my life than I had been before. I changed my diet. I changed my mental approach. And I changed my environment in terms of what I was putting in my body. But I wasn't doing anything different. But I started to feel a bit better. So in September, I thought, I've been walking a bit, been doing some bits and pieces, could do with doing a bit more. I'll join a running club, why not? So I signed up to a Couch to 5K, local to me. Never run in my life before. I really wanted to be one of those people, you know, those people that say, I love running, and I really, really wanted to be one of those people. I haven't quite got there yet, but nearly. But that's where I wanted to be. And so I started running, which was fab. And I started going to the gym and doing more things. Then I went back to work. And I went back to work into my kind of fairly stressful job, 4 days a week. So as good as full time, pretty much. And that was in the October last year. And week by week, month by month, I've been improving, been getting better and better. And I can't say that I'll be cured, because life doesn't work like that. And I will still get ill from time to time. If I do too much, if I put myself under too much stress, if I eat junk food like Oreo cookies and crisps and things too much, then I know, and I don't sleep enough. And if that happens, then I know I'm not going to be great. But I've got my life back, and being vegan has given me so much, not just in my health, but and it's really hard to explain, but I've felt a calmness and a peace that I never had before. And it's really hard to explain, isn't it? But I think there's something about contributing subconsciously, knowing that you're contributing to suffering and to pain, that has an impact on you inside. And that really has been the biggest change in my heart and in myself. And I've loved it. I love being vegan. Love it. I would never go back. And I love being the novelty. I love in my team at work. I was always a bit of a label Mabel and a bit of a, got to have nice things, and I was never a typical hippie or anything like that. Shoes and handbags and all that kind of stuff. Still am, but just nice shoes. Big. Bought a lovely cork bag out there. So the people around me saw me go from this kind of materialistic person who was, mainstream, normal, whatever that is, to a vegan, but a kind of shoes and handbag kind of vegan, which I don't think is a bad thing. Exactly. And I think it's great, and because I've made that difference, they see it in me. So I'm known in my team at work as being the natural first aider. So if somebody's ill, then turmeric. Bring on some turmeric, please. Some cinnamon or some lemon water. And I love that. It's great. But I feel really passionate that I need to show to the people around me who aren't vegan that how easy it is, and how normal it is, and how accessible it is. And I had all the comments. So I had, where'd you get your protein from, or are you going to have enough energy, and all the kind of usual. Is it expensive? And where'd you get your food from? And I've got a bit of I've got a lot of stubbornness in me that makes me kind of go. If you say to me, I don't think you'll be able to get anything from the works canteen, and I think, no, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Actually, I can eat this, and I can eat that, and I can eat salad, and I can eat hummus, and I can eat all of these things. And how great is it? And you're not changing your world. It's easy. It's accessible. It's normal. And it's part and parcel of everyday life. I'm not being any different to anybody else. I'm not being a kind of strange weirdo, well, no more than usual. But I think that's really important. And I am the one lone voice, the lone vegan, the lone voice of veganism in my family and in my work. So I am still a bit of a novelty. And when I went to my family for Boxing Day dinner, and my mother phoned me up beforehand, and she said, not really sure what we can get you to eat. I don't really know what you can have. Okay. Can you bring a vegan salad with you? So I try to make it as easy as possible for people. So I didn't bring a vegan salad with me because my mother-in-law is Italian, tiny Italian lady who's quite elderly, and she just knows meat and cheese, meatballs, lasagna, all that kind of stuff. So Christmas dinner, I said, what can I bring? What can I make and bring with me to Christmas dinner? And so that's what I do. So I made butter bean mushroom Wellington. Amazing. Took forever to make, but it was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then she just had to do the potatoes and the vegetables and that kind of stuff. It was great. It was easy. And
did she try that? Did she try your Wellington?
She did, yeah.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she loved it.
Good.
And I made, and for my family, I made, what did I make? Oh, vegan stollen. You know the marzipan bread? Yeah, it's awesome. It's really nice. So that's what I took to my family. But you know, the best bit, I have to tell you this, the best bit was for New Year's Eve, a whole group of my friends and all get together, and we all have everybody brings a course. Someone makes a starter, someone brings a main course, someone brings a dessert. And this year, I said to my friends, well, I'm really happy to cook something and bring something just for me, so I'm not, putting you out. Because I was still, at this point, a little bit like, I was saying to people, I'm a vegan. And we what? You what? Oh, vegan, yes. So I was still a little bit, you know how it is. So I said, I'll bring something with me so you don't have to cook. But do you know what my friends said? They said, do you know what? We'll do something. We'll make something for you, for everybody. And we had a completely vegan 3-course meal for all of us. And everybody loved it. And I was the only vegan at the table, but everybody else joined the party and had an amazing time. Isn't that fun? Isn't that easy and accessible? So that's my story. I feel like it's the first chapter of my story, because I'm not at the point where I finished. I feel like I've got a long way to go. Because one thing that being vegan has helped benefit me with is understanding my environment and feeling the impact that I have as one individual on the world around me. And I've come to that through being vegan. So I got to the point where I'm aware of where my money goes, where my pound gets spent. And I don't really want to spend it on single-use plastic all the time. And I don't really want it to go to an organisation that I don't believe in. And I don't really want to be having a heavy tread on the world. And that's come completely through my plant-based vegan journey. But the best thing is how well I feel. And that's what started me in the process. So I ran a 10K. One of my goals for this year was to run a 10K. And my other goal is to get my park run time under 30. Not quite yet, but we're only part way through the year, so I've got time to go. But how I got there through this amazing, awesome lifestyle that we lead, that's given so many opportunities, and that's given me some future back, and it's given me my life back, basically. It's given me a world of opportunity back. So that's my story. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
You nearly made me cry.
I'm sorry.
It's good.
I love the fact you totally doubted the medical community and found your own journey. That's the most powerful
I
thing.
didn't know.
I know.
Do you know, I really didn't. I absolutely trusted them.
Yeah.
And I think we do that, don't we?
We do.
Our society tells us that that's what we do. If we're sick, we go to a doctor and they fix us.
Yeah.
But you have to be an expert to understand an expert, to talk to an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks very
Thank
much.
you.
We're still gonna